Capsule.
Alright, welcome back to our breakdown of Easygoing Territory Defense. Last time, in Volume 5, we saw Van Nyfertio finally secure his barony and earn a little bit of peace. But here, in Volume 6, that peace he fought for, well, the bill is coming due, and it's going to be a steep one.
So, while Van's been busy creating his perfect little village of Ceto, you can bet his enemies over in the Kingdom of Yelenetta have been doing anything but relaxing. That brief moment of calm is about to be completely shattered. We're talking about a conflict on a whole new level, one that's going to drag in entire nations and threaten to just swallow the Kingdom of Scuderia whole.
And who's the one to sound the alarm? None other than our favorite merchant, Apollo. He comes rushing to Van with this really ominous warning. See, Yelenetta failed to beat Scuderia head-on, so they've changed up their whole strategy. This time, they're not just attacking. No, they're playing puppet master with their neighbors.
And boom, just like that, the entire game has changed. This isn't just some border skirmish anymore. We're talking a full-blown invasion, coming from a totally new direction, all orchestrated by a very bitter and very vengeful Yelenetta.
So this new front? It's the neighboring country of Shelbia. And let me tell you, it is a political train wreck. The whole place is basically split in two. You've got the Western faction, who are buddies with Scuderia, but then you have the Eastern faction, who are allied with Yelenetta. And guess who's in charge right now? The East. So Yelenetta has basically forced the entire nation to join their war.
So Van gets this sinking feeling, right? The reports from his dad's territory on the border, they've just stopped. Fearing the absolute worst, he gets the band back together, his A-team. You've got his loyal knight Compson, his attendant Till, the incredibly powerful marionette mage Art, and Lo with his machine bow squad. And get this, they all set off in a brand new, self-built luxury command carriage called the Cullinan. It's not long before they're joined by the powerhouse Viscount Panamera and her chivalric order. But when they finally get to the border, wow, the situation is so much worse than they ever could have imagined. The stronghold there, Senthena Fortress, is literally on the verge of being wiped off the map.
And who's holding the line against all odds? It's Van's own father, the legendary and very stern Marquis Jalpa Fertio. His nickname is the Watchman of Scuderia for a reason. He's a brilliant commander, but even a legend can only take so much.
So why are they getting hammered so badly? Well, it's because Yelenetta basically threw out the rulebook and showed up with a bunch of new toys. We're talking long-range cannons that can shell the fortress from half a mile away, wyverns dropping explosives from the sky like bombers, and to top it all off, a massive earth dragon they're using as a living battering ram. It's a total nightmare.
And get this, Jalpa's defenders are up against a combined Yelenetta and Shelbian army of 70,000 soldiers. They are outnumbered, outgunned, and just being systematically ground down.
His fortress is turning to rubble. His men are on their last legs. Jalpen knows he has to do something drastic. He decides to make one final desperate gamble. He leads a cavalry charge straight into the heart of the enemy, hoping he can punch through their lines and cause enough chaos. This is a pure Hail Mary. And it's a trap. The enemy was completely ready for it. They spring the trap, cornering the cavalry with that terrifying earth dragon, and then just unloading on them with all their cannons. And in the middle of all that chaos, Marquis Jalpa goes down. He's critically wounded. He loses his right leg.
Right when you think it's all over, that all hope is completely lost, a new banner appears on the horizon. Yep, Van is here.
And he didn't come alone. He brought his secret weapon. Artie unleashes her magic on a scale we have never seen, summoning these two gigantic wooden knights called the Avendor. They move with this terrifying speed and power, just slicing through the wyverns and even taking the fight to the Earth Dragon. It's just enough to create an opening for the survivors to fall back.
I mean, even the battle-hardened Viscount Panamera is just floored. She can't believe what she's seeing. This kind of power is a total game-changer. And while those puppets are holding the enemy back, Panamera races to Jalpa's side and uses her fire magic to cauterize his wound, saving his life right there in the battlefield.
Okay, so the immediate danger is over. But does Van just sit back and take a breath? No way. He takes charge and decides he's not just going to defend Senthena, he's going to rebuild it from the ground up.
And his strategy is just pure Van. First, he uses arts as puppets to pull out any remaining survivors. Then, he uses his insane construction magic to instantly fix the walls. But he doesn't stop there. He reinforces the whole thing, turning it into this massive, dome-like fortress that the enemy cannons can't even dent. Then, for good measure, he sticks 30 of his own heavy ballistae on top. Think about that. In one day, he turns a pile of rubble into a fortress that's basically impenetrable.
But the enemy isn't just going to sit there and watch. A squad of assassins actually gets inside the new fortress and ambushes Van. Just as a blade is about to hit him, his friend comes in, reveals a trick of his own, thieving magic. Get this, he literally yoinks the sword right out of the assassin's hand in the middle of its swing, saving Van's life and proving he's way more than just a loyal friend. So, now they're safe behind their new super fortress. It's time to go on the offensive. But how do you even attack an army that can just shell you from a mile away? Well, you come up with a plan that's 1 part brilliant, 2 parts completely insane.
This is where Viscount Panamera steps up for what has to be the craziest job ever. She rides out and charges the enemy lines completely alone. The enemy, of course, sees this high-value target and points all of their cannons at her. But those things are powerful, not accurate. They've got no chance of hitting one person moving that fast. And while they're all busy trying to shoot at her, Van moves his main force up completely unnoticed and gets his own war wagons into perfect range.
And you know what? The crazy plan works. It works perfectly. Van's forces just slam into the enemy's forward base, while Artie's puppets run wild through the ranks, causing absolute chaos. That once unstoppable invasion force, it just breaks.
I mean, this isn't just a win, it's a total rout. The enemy morale completely shatters, the Yellaneta commanders just run for it, and the Shelbian commander, seeing it's all over, surrenders his entire army. After a defeat this bad, the kingdom of Yellaneta has no other choice. They formally surrender, and just like that, the war is over.
And this is the moment we've been waiting for. As he's recovering, the super stern, hard-to-please Marquis Jalpa finally looks at his son and acknowledges his strength, his strategy, his leadership. Van didn't just save his father and his kingdom. He finally earned the old man's respect.
So the story wraps up with Van heading home. And he's not just the local baron anymore. No, he's the hero who saved the kingdom. And how does he celebrate? The only way Van knows how. With a giant barbecue for everyone in Cedo village, surrounded by all the friends and villagers he fought so hard to protect.
But you gotta remember, Van has just put on a display of power for the whole world to see. I mean, he rebuilt a fortress in a day and single-handedly engineered a victory that saved the entire nation. That kind of power doesn't go unnoticed. So the real question for Volume 7 is, with that kind of power on the table, who in his own kingdom is going to see him as a hero, and who's going to start seeing him as a threat?
Plot Capsule.